The talking is over with. It's time to get buck wild. Let's get this thing on the road. Southside will serve first, and it will be Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, with the serve, and the nerves get the best of her. She serves it into the net. Chester County with the 1-0 lead. Autumn McDaniel will start off serving for Chester County. Here's McDaniel. You're going to hear the volume level really increase. It's almost a capacity crowd. Here's Dean with a cross-court shot. Beautiful roll inside the 10-foot line on a perfect set that time by Haley Haltom. And already a substitution. Haltom comes out, and Caitlin Allen, the sophomore defensive specialist for Tommy Dean, comes into the game. It is 1 apiece. And for the second straight time, it's a serve into the net. Caitlin Allen, who just checked into the game, hits it into the bottom of the net. So 2 early net violations for Southside here. Now serving for Chester County, that's Bailey Smith. Here's a long pass that goes over, but it's scooped up there by Haley Haltom. Now back over on 2 by Dean. Set to the middle, setting the 2. A beautiful crank that time. Holy smokes. Leaping Lizards. Bailey Smith with an absolute bomb just past the 10-foot line, and Chester County with an early 3-1 lead. And Bailey Smith, the one that just hit that fantastic shot, is now serving. So here's Bailey with the serve. It's served. Now here's Dean with a roll. Probably a little too far off the net. Sitter just a little too far off, did Haltom. Dean tried to roll it, but didn't have enough on it. It falls short. And Chester County with the 4-1 lead. Bailey Smith back to serve. Smith with the serve. The pass is long over the net. Tapped straight down that time by Jansen Robinson. And right now, right out of the gate, Tommy Dean's Hawks a little frustrated so far. It's little mental errors that have beaten them to this point. Now Bailey Smith with the serve and the 5-1 lead. It looks a little long, and that's exactly the case. Bailey Smith, after running 4 straight points, serves that ball out of bounds. Southside says, thank you very much. We will take it. Now here's some substitutions coming into the game for Southside. That's Sydney Shelton. She'll take the place of Kristen Long, the senior. And Shelton, the junior defensive specialist, goes back to serve. Over to the libero, now set. It's a cross-court set, and it is put down that time by Jansen Robinson. It was a diving effort that time by Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, but she just couldn't get enough of it. And Chester County with the 6-2 lead here in the first set with your very live on the line. You lose tonight, and you are eliminated. Now here's a shank pass off of a serve by Ashton Webb. Ashton Webb checking in at about 6'1". She's about the same height as Shay Dean. And so far, all Chester County, they lead 7-2. Ashton Webb with a running jump serve, a beautiful one, but it just clips the net and falls short on their side. 7-3. Southside catches a break. Now let's see what Shay Dean can do with it. She goes back to serve. Dean with the serve. It's a straight-on shot. Dug off the back line. Here's the set at the 2. It's pounded but blocked, and back up by Chester County. They're going to call a lift that time, though. Nice shot by number 23, Annabeth Taylor, the freshman blocker for Southside. Chester County dug it up, but they're saying that was a lift. Southside needed that one. Here's Dean with the serve, back row. It's up now, back over to the setter. It's a bump set, and it's shot behind the 10-foot line, but dug up by Dean. Oh, boy, there should have been a net on Southside. That wasn't called, but Chester County got the point anyway. And I'll tell you what, Coach Humphrey, she saw that right away. She pointed it to the net. It didn't end up being a net call, but justice did prevail in this one. Chester County with the point and an 8-4 lead. See if I can get that number of that server for. I believe that's Misty Conaway. It is indeed Conaway with a great serve over on 2 by Southside. Here's a jump set from the 3 place just inside the 10-foot line. Now here's a bump serve, bump set that goes back over but out of bounds. Falling away was Kaya Sane. On an errant pass, she had to go over and had to get it over on that one. That was the 3rd hit, but she was falling away and just couldn't get it to go down. So 9-4 Chester County. And here's the serve by Missy Conaway. It's long, out of bounds. So several serving errors so far by both teams. here in the first set. Now back to serve for the Lady Hawks. That's Caitlin Scott, the sophomore defensive specialist. She's a lefty. Nearly drops one in. Here's a set down on the 5. Dug by the back row. Here's a set by Kaya Sane. Boy, I didn't know she was going to be able to get that. That ball drifted on her. The set by Halton drifted a little bit on Sane, but she was able to recover and rolled it just past the 10-foot line. A little spot. The defender had cheated up a little too far, and Southside's got the last 2 points. They trail 9-6 now. Here's the serve. Set to the line. The outside hitter. She places it beautifully. Just a beautiful dink that time. A little two-hand job by number 10. That was Bailey Smith. Had both blockers up off their feet and just used both hands to just place a perfect little dink shot in there, and Chester County gets the point. Now serving for Chester County, Jansen Robinson with the serve over. It's taken back to the setter. Now over to Kaya Sane with a cross-court shot dug up off the back row. Here's another set. Here's the approach. A little dink inside the 10-foot line, recovered by Southside. Well, here's a shot by Bailey Smith, but she was absolutely all in the net. A Tuno special in the net. 10-7. Southside trailing Chester County. And back to serve for the Lady Hawks is one of the 2 seniors on this team, Kristen Long. Here's Long with the serve. It is taken off the back row. It's a bad bump set. There's another one. Here is Haltom with the set and an approach by Sane that drifts just about an inch too far off that back line. It was a nice set that time by Haley Haltom, and Sane popped it hard, no question, but it floated just a little too far on her. 11-7. Now here's Chester County's Kelsey Pirtle with the serve, dug up off the back row. Now needing a little help. And back to Sane. Now here back over the other side for Chester County. It's a little drive and cut in the middle. Now Kaya Sane, boy, goes over on 2, and that's what we're talking about with the elevation. Kaya's not all that tall, but she has some major hops. Big time vert. She just goes up skies over the defender and puts it down. 11-8 Chester County. And now Chloe Matthews with the serve. It's taken off the back row. Here's a set from the 3, the swing, and the drive is too long, out of bounds. Bailey Smith trying to crank that one down. Can't find it inside. So Chester County now with their lead down to 2. And Chloe Matthews back to serve. Here she goes. Matthews, great low serve, dug up. Back over on 3 here by Chester County. Here's a set to Dean. Destroys that ball, but you got to keep it in, and that did not happen. Dean's shot goes just a little too long. Boy, 2 kills opportunities that time for Sane and Dean. Both of them float just a little bit too long. So far, that's the difference in this match. That's the difference in 11-10 and 12-9. Now here's the serve by Chester County, taken off the back row. Here's Dean with the approach. She tries to roll it, but again, she's too far off, and if you're that far off, you can't cut it at that angle. You got to be closer to net to do that. You have to push it a little more than just that cut. 13-9, Chester County with the lead. Here's the serve by Autumn McDaniel, taken from the back row. Here's the set. Dean approaches once again with a beautiful cross-court kill, and this is the advantage and the length and the leaping ability that time, because more than likely, other than maybe Kaya Sane, nobody else is going to get to that serve or that set. The set drifted a little bit far that time by Haltom, but Dean and her length was able to put it down. 13-10, Southside trailing by 3. Now here's the serve, a set at the 2, cranked but dug off the back row. Oh boy, that's when your team's got to come back for you. You can't sit there and admire that great dig. It was dug up off the back row by Kristen Long, but the front row not ready for it. 14-10, and it is Bailey Smith back to serve for Chester County. Smith with the serve, taken from the back row back to the middle. Here's Dean, pushes it to the back line, but the Eagles ready for that one. Now here's a 3 set, cranked but dug up by number 12. Now here's the set. Dean with the approach. She cranks. Oh, boy, man. You know, if Tommy is going to go back and watch this and say the chances they've had in the early parts of this match of shots that have gone wide or long. That time, Gene, just a little bit long, and it's 15-10, Southside trailing Chester County. We'll take this 30-second timeout and come back to you on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
And actually, Seabass, I have a scoring update for you in the Major League Baseball. Right now it is 1-0 Astros over the Yankees, top of the second. It was a Colby Rasmus home run for the Astros. And again, it's top of the second. Astros lead the Yankees 1-0.
Thank you, Dan DiFilippo, and Colby Rasmus solo shot in the second as the Astros and Dallas Keuchel leading Masahiro Tanaka and the New York Yankees. Here we go. Bailey Smith with the serve. 15-10. It's taken. Here's Haltom with the set and a banger that time. It's called a tool. Hits two defenders and tools it out of bounds. Nice job, boy, driving through that perfect set by Haley Haltom is Shea Dean, the junior middle hitter, who's going to have to come up really big tonight for this team if they want to knock off a power like Chester County. 15-11. Lady Eagles with the lead. Here is Sydney Shelton with the serve. It's long. Comes near the back line, but taken by Chester County. Now here's a drive from the back line. A beautiful shot that time. Perfect set, by the way, by the center, Autumn McDaniel. And it was Bailey Smith from the back line putting it down over on the line back in the deep left corner. Chester County with the 16-11 lead. And here's Ashton Webb, the 6'1" player with a serve that drifts just wide. And Southside catches a break and trails 16-12 here in the first set with Shea Dean back to set. Here's Dean with the serve, taking on the back row. Now the setter needs help that time, and it's double contact by Autumn McDaniel. That's one of those where McDaniel's probably got to ask for help on that. It was just too far for her to go that time. The setter is a rover, but sometimes you just got to have a little help that time by Dean. Here's the serve, taken for the back row. It's a tight one over on two. It's picked up by Southside, now shot over by Sane. Taken from the back row. Here's a bump set from the 5. Swung, blocked, and up by Southside. Boy, how'd they get that one up? Now here's another set to the 5. Swung on once again. Blocked and back over by Southside. Sane patrolling the net. Boy, let me tell you something. Kaya Sane with 3 straight blocks in the last one. The setter, Autumn McDaniel, trying to go over on 2. Kaya Sane having none of it. Put it right back down on the top of her. 16-14. Dean with the serve. Now here setting a deep 2. Taken by Dean, but it drifts over. Approaching back now, setting the outside 5, pushed, but up that time off the back row. Here's Dean approaching behind the 10-foot line. She gets it to go back over. Now here's a set at the 2, driven hard, but up by Southside, but the pass is shanked. And after a nice little rally, Chester County is rewarded here. They now lead 17-14 here in the first set. And you got to believe this one's going to go more than 3. Pretty sure about that one. These two teams are very evenly matched. Back to serve, Misty Conaway with a 3-point lead here in the first set. Here's Haltom with the back set. It's tight, but Sane rolls it, but it's upped by Chester County. Now back over on 2. That is number 5, Rihanna Colbert, who catches a piece of that net and it rolls right over the top of Kaya Sane, and the back row can't get there in time. 18-14. Chester County with the lead, and Misty Conaway serving. Conaway's serve is taken on the back row. Now over to Haltom. She has to go over. It's a diving save by Chester County. Here's an outside 5 push right at the 10-foot line, up by Sane. Oh, what a great job. That looked like a pancake up that time. I couldn't tell. Either way, it was a great job of getting that ball off the floor by Sane, but she just couldn't get enough of it to get to the next pass, and Chester County leading 19-14, trying to put this first set away. Here's the serve taken off the back row. Here's Haltom. The set drifts over to the other side of the net. Chester County brings it over on 1. Now here's a set by Sane. Dug up. Holy cow, it's a bomb by Sane. It was dug up by Bailey Smith, but out of bounds. Well, Southside really needed that one. They trail 19-15, and serving for the Lady Hawks is Caitlin Scott. Now Chester County going to have to go over from the back row. Here's Haltom with the back set. Sane has to go back behind her back to make that one go over. Here's a set right at the 2. Nice touch, but dug up by Southside. Sane over on 2, but Chester County gets it up now. Here's an up from the back row. Haltom with a back set and a bomb by Sane. Well, they're going to say it went far. I thought it might have clipped that back line. Tommy Dean does not like that call. It was close. There's no question about it. Line judge right there on it. He says no. It drifted far, so 20-15. Chester County with the lead. Here's a high pass. Haltom has to go over on two. Back over to Chester County. They'll have to go over from the back row. It's a high pass. Now here's Haltom right on the line. A back set to Saint, who rolls it, finds a spot in the zone, and gets it down. Boy, Saint playing really well right now. She takes it over on two. Autumn McDaniel wasn't ready for it. And Southside gets the point, but Chester County leading in the late stages of this first set, 20-16. Now serving for Southside is senior Kristen Long. Taking the passes high. Sane puts it down right at the net. Boy, if you get that ball that close to Sane and it's the second hit and the setter doesn't have a chance, Sane's going to win that battle every single time. Her hops are just fantastic. Here's Long with the serve, trailing 20-17, taking over the back row, down into the net, but a great job by the setter for Chester County of pulling it out. Now here's Sane with an opportunity to put it down. She rolls it just over the setter's head. Now back over on three right there, Bailey Smith. Haltom with a tight set, but way too high. Sane gets up. But a great job that time of Rihanna Colbert of playing it right off her left arm. Sane was so high, but just so far out of position because of the errant pass. There was really nothing she could do that time. Now serving for Chester County, Kelsey Pirtle leading 21-17. Here's the serve taken. Now here's a pushing set. That time, oh boy. Southside dodges a bullet right there. There's no question about that because Kai Sane was in the net and Susan Humphrey was not happy about that at all. It's not called. That's all that matters. 22-17. Now here's a beautiful serve that time by Kelsey Pirtle. Dug up but out of bounds. 23-17, and Chester County has taken a commanding lead here in the first set. We'll take this 30-second timeout and come back, get you to the Hawks' Nest. Southside trailing 23-17 in the first set. Back after this in 30 seconds.
City. We are Jackson's best news talk radio station. We have to be. We have the best listeners.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring this one back. Go ahead and pop that down, Dan, because we are here at the end. Go ahead and pop that down for us, Dan. We're at the end of this set. It's 23-19. Southside with two straight points. We're sorry about the technical difficulty there. 23-19. Southside trailing at the end of this first set. And it's Chloe Matthews with the serve. It's a high pass, and Shay Dean takes it over on two, but Chester County's able to dig it up. Now here's the set. Dean approaches, cuts it, but goes long. You know, that's a tough hit, though, you know, for Shay Dean, though. That's a very, very tight set. When you get it that tight, it was so tight, it was nearly on Chester County's side. Sometimes you just kind of go with the dink right there. That's all you can get, especially when you have the height advantage. So set point for Chester County. Here's Dean with the approach. A bomb down the line, but dug up off the back row. Chester County back over, rolls it off the net. Here's a set by Haltom. Dean once again dug up off another bomb by Chester County. Back over on three once again. Remember, this is set point for Chester County. Here's Haltom with another set that drifts over back to the other side. It's dug up, but shanked, and Chester County wins it. But man, Kelsey Pirtle with two phenomenal digs of Shea Dean at the end of that set to win the first set, 25-19 for Chester County. We'll take this 2-minute timeout and come back and get you ready for the second set on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of an automatic boat naming machine.
Name number 1, yeah, buoy, spelled B-U-O-Y, ha ha ha. Name number 2, peer pressure, get it, P-I-E-R, see what I did there? Name number 3, great boat insurance from Progressive at a great price. Maybe a little bit long-winded, but nevertheless true.
Progressive Boat Insurance. The coverage you need starting around just $8 a month. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. $8 monthly premium excludes fees and taxes and is not available in all states.
South Gibson Hornet Sports. Watch on .5digital.com. Presented by WB Cell Phone Accessories and more. Southern Trucks and 4x4. Mitchell's Body Shop. Young Hughes Insurance. Tennessee Tractor. Medina Funeral Home and Cremation Service. And the Woman's Clinic. South Gibson Hornet Sports. Only on .5digital.com.
Steve Bowers here with Dr. Stephen Collier, who practices internal medicine at Bethesda Health Services. Talking with Dr. Collier about the new FDA-approved heart test. Doctor, what can you tell us about that procedure?
We are very excited to offer a new screening test for the early detection of heart disease or potential stroke patients. It's called endothelial function testing, or EndoPAT. It is non-invasive and non-painful. It only takes probably 15 minutes to administer the test, and it measures the ability of the blood vessels to efficiently transmit blood throughout the body.
So you can tell me if I'm about to have a heart attack or stroke by administering this test?
And if there was a problem detected, you could intervene early and reduce risk factors before something serious like a heart attack occurred.
Folks, I'm going to take this test myself. And I'm going to
bring it back after this.
do the same. I want to know, and I'm sure you do too. Call Bethesda 664-7949.
Bethesda Health Services. Open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 to 5, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 8, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Bethesda Health Services, 29 North Star Drive, Bicycle City.
All right, we are just about to get underway here in the second set, and it's Kelsey Pirtle for Chester County leading things off. Here's the serve taken from the back row. Here's a shot down by Sane down the deep line. Coming back the other way, let's see what we've got here. Double contact, that's exactly the case. Double contact by Chester County, and Southside will start off with the early 1-0 lead, and Chloe Matthews, the sophomore libero, is going to start things off for Southside. Beautiful serve, but dug up that time by Chester County. Now here's a dink right there around the 10-foot line. Here's a back set to Dean, who drives it hard, but dug up off that back row. The back row playing really well. Here's Bailey Smith with a long shot. Would have been out. Southside goes for it. Here's a back set. Dean pushes it inside the 10-foot line, but dug up by Bailey Smith. Now here's Smith on the roll. She's blocked that time. Goes back over on 2. Here's a set over to Hall. The set over to from Haltom to Dean. Dean is stopped at the net by Ashton Webb. Webb's about as tall as Dean, maybe about a half inch shorter right there. But she went up there, and Dean tried to roll it. But as I said, she's probably able to roll it on anybody else. But Ashton Webb, the other tallest player out there on the court, she's able to take it down. And it's 1-1, Chester County with the serve. That's Bailey, and that's not Bailey Smith. That's Autumn McDaniel with the serve. Now here's Dean, and there's some anger in that kill. Straight down the line. Perfect set by Haltom, and just bang down by Shea Dean. Beautiful shot that time. And a lot of time, on the high school level, the tendency is to hit angle because it seems right. So you find somebody like Dean who can crank it down that line, which is a harder shot. It's a great weapon to have, no question about it. Now, 2-1, Southside with the lead. Here's Webb trying to push it over. It's up. It's saved up by Dean, rolled back over. Bailey Smith thinks about it, but she steps up, and the ball falls in between Bailey Smith and who else was that? Jansen Robinson. A hubby wife was located right there about the 10-foot line. Nobody knew what to do. Now here's the serve, 3-1. Southside with the lead. From the back row here is Ashton Webb with a back hit. Now here's a set. Dean has to hit from right around the 10-foot line. Here's Southside coming back the other way. Bailey with a roll. Bailey Smith with a roll. Now here's Dean setting up her teammate for a line shot. A beautiful line shot that time by Ashlyn Cliff, the freshman blocker. And Chester County was able to get the ball up, but it goes out of bounds. And Southside with the early 4-1 lead here in the second set. They're down a set. Here's the serve by Caitlin Allen. Now here's a drive that's dug up off the back row that time. Beautiful dig by Long. Now another punishing kill by Ashton Webb right there at the net. That pass came over the net a little bit too high. Webb wasn't about to pass that one off. She cranked it. It's 4-2 Southside. And Chester County's Bailey Smith will step back to serve, trailing 4-2 here in the second set. You lose tonight. That's it. Here's Bailey Smith with the serve. Taking the back row. Nice set to Haltom. Back over from this. That's a regular soft hit from the back line. Now here's a set over. It's a cross-court shot that is right off of Ashlyn Cliff's right arm. Beautiful shot that time. Let me get that number for you. That was number 22, Jansen Robinson, with a nice shot. The 2 and the point for Chester County, trailing 4-3 here in the second set. Here's Bailey Smith with the serve off the back row. It's a tight one set, but Haltom's able to get it. It goes over on 2. Now here's the approach and a 2 off the side. But oh my goodness, I thought it was going out of bounds. But a great up that time by Shay Dean. I was ready to call it a 2. Not so fast. But Dean hits it out of bounds. And Chester County with the point. We're tied at 4 here early on in the second set. Here is Bailey Smith with the serve, tied at 4. Taken over to Haltom. Haltom with the push set. It's blocked right at the line that time, but over the top of Webb goes Shay Dean. They needed that one, and they got it. Shay Dean with the big hit. The junior middle hitter, and as we told you, granddaughter of head coach Tommy Dean, with her second kill of this set. Back to serve for Southside is Sydney Shelton. Back row brings it over to setter Autumn McDaniel. Now it's over. Here's Haltom as Dean approaches with a bomb off the back row, but dug up once again over, but oh, good grief. It goes over. It's just a little simple roll, and Shay Dean thought it was going out of bounds, and I got to be honest with you, I did too. I would have let that ball go, but it clips part of that line, and Chester County gets the point. Well, I tell you what, Kelsey Pirtle has dug up Shay Dean 3 times on a couple of missiles. No question about it. Here's a jump serve, a bomb of a jump serve. Here's Dean with an approach. It's a cross-court shot that goes long. Goes wide. The point is, it's Chester County's point. Dean is cranked up. You can tell she's hitting. She's putting some mustard on it. It's just going a little long or a little wide. 6-5 Chester County. Here's another bomb serve by Webb. Here's Dean off the back row behind the 10-foot line, dug up. Here is a ball that goes over the net for Chester County. Set goes a little far, and Dean doesn't waste any time. She powers it home. We're tied at 6 here in the second set. If you're just joining us, it was Chester County winning the first set 25-19. Now here's Dean coming back to serve. Dean with the serve taken from the back row. Here's Autumn McDaniel. Set goes back. It goes over on 3. Now here's Haltom. Here's an approach by Southside by 23. That's Annabeth Taylor, the freshman blocker. She just rolls it off of a defender that time. It goes out of bounds, and Southside gets the point. They lead 7-6. And here's Dean with her second serve. Here's McDaniel with the set. Here's an approach. It's a dink over the setter, but here's Haltom. Now it's Kaya Sane into the ball game. She hits one taken at the back row. Here's another approach, a long, deep shot, and Southside got caught napping. A beautiful placement that time by Jansen Robinson. The back row cheating up just a little bit too far. Robinson saw that little spot there. Just a nice little shoot there with both hands. Found that spot and got the point. We're tied here at 7. Going back to serve for Chester County. I'll get you that number here in just a second. That is Peyton Davidson. Now here's the set by Haltom over on a backward shot. Here's a set on approach. It is blocked at the net. Let's see, I couldn't tell if it went over or not. Yep, it did. Kaya Sane that time and Annabeth Taylor. That's freshman and senior working in harmony together to get the stuff that time and give Southside the 1-point lead. Now here is the serve by Caitlin Scott. The set drifts a little inside, now dinking over the top, but a nice save that time by Haley Haltom. Here's a soft pass. It's taken by Haltom, and Kaya Sane with a mental mistake. She tries to go over on 2 backwards that time. Tommy Dean did not like that. Now, that was not a good decision that time by Kaya Sane. She was about 6 feet off the net and tried to hit it backwards, and that's not going to work, even with the hops that she has. 8 points apiece here in the second set. Chester County serving. That ball is an ace. My goodness, Southside had an easy opportunity to get that ball, but they were playing up a little too far. They thought it was going out, and it did not. And that was, let me see if I can get you that number. That's number 22, Jansen Robinson, with that ace on the last one. You're going to get a double hit this time by Haley Hawthorne. She tried to do a back set to Kaya Sane and called for the double contact. And Chester County now with their biggest lead here in the second set at 10-8. They lead Southside, and they are up one set. Here's the serve by Robinson, taken off the back row. Hawthorne's going to have to play it off the net. She does it. Kai Sane's able to get it now. Autumn McDaniel saves it down, and here's a shot straight from the two-hole, but a great job by the back row for Southside. Now here's the set and the approach. It's a little diving shot past the 10-foot line. It's up by Chester County. Here's Bailey Smith hitting it between two blockers. Nice job by Bailey Smith, getting up a little bit slow. I thought she had actually got that ball in between the two blockers, but they're saying no. That ball went down on Chester County's side, so Southside gets a much-needed point. And that's number 9, Kaylin Allen, the sophomore. She's serving. The pass is shanked off the hands of Ashton Webb. It's an easy serve. She just shanks it, and we are knotted back at 10 once again. Great action here in the second set like we knew it was going to be. And serving for Southside again is senior Kristen Long, one of only 2 seniors on this team for Tommy Dean. Here's her serve. Pass taken, set to the middle. It's a 2. It's tight. Rolls it over the top, but dug off from the back line. Now here is Sane with the set, and she goes over on 2. Here's the approach by Bailey Smith. Cranks it off the top of number 7, Ashlyn Clift, and out of bounds. Boy, Bailey Smith really playing well right now for Chester County. And the Lady Eagles reclaim the lead 11-10 here in the second set. And it is Kelsey Pirtle, who's been a defensive dynamo here tonight. And here's Sane with an approach after a great back set that time by Haltham. It's picked up by Chester County. Back over to Southside. Now trying to set Sane once again. She cranks it and gets it to drop. Boy, I tell you what, I'm just like Chester County right there. I'm like Jansen Robinson. I'm thinking that ball's going long. If you're that far in the back row and you got to raise your hands to get a ball, it's usually going out of bounds, but perfect touch that time by Sane. Finds a spot just in front of the line. We're tied at 11. Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, with the serve. Now Autumn McDaniel has to go way back, so they're going to just roll it here. Here's Dean. She gets it over to Haltham. Here comes Dean with an approach. She cranks it. It's dug up in the back row once again. She's saying, what do I got to do to put one down here? Back over to Southside, another approach to Dean. She's just got to roll this one. She does. Bailey Smith finds it. Now here's the set at the 2. Another dink once again. It's up. Here's an approach by Dean. She has to roll it once again. Not really a roll. It's a hard enough driven ball. It wouldn't be considered a big spike or anything like that. But what it couldn't be considered is a point because she found the spot in the defense. Great job that time by the junior middle hitter, Shay Dean. And Southside has the lead once again with Chloe Matthews still serving. Southside leading 12-11. Served handled from the back row. Here's McDaniel. And McDaniel tries to do a back set. She's going to get called for a double hit. And Southside with a 2-point lead here in the second set. And Coach Susan Humphrey said, nope, we want a timeout. We want to talk about it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep it right here and tell you about some great folks that bring you this volleyball tonight. They are people that we want you to, if you have need of their services, they are the people you need to see, like a good buddy of mine, Jim Wilson, and Jim Wilson Insurance Agency at 1961 South Highland in Jackson. 424-4131 is the phone number. They're your local hometown insurance agency. They've got home, auto, life, commercial, boats, ATVs, motorcycle, camper, and trailers. Whatever type of insurance need you have, my man Jim Wilson Insurance Agency is going to fill it for you. 1961 South Highland here in Jackson. And again, that phone number, 424-4131. Seabass coming to you live from the Hawks Nest, son. We got us a good one. Chester County wins the first set 25-19. Here in the second set, Southside leading 13-11. And Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, set to serve. Here's the serve by Matthews, taken by Pirtle. It's a tight set for McDaniel, but cranked that time by Webb, but stuffed by Dean. Boy, Dean and Webb are having a big battle at the net tonight. No question about it. 14-11, Southside with the 3-point lead. Now here's the pass. McDaniel with a cross-court set. Beautiful crank by Bailey, but picked up off the back row. Now here's Haltham with the set. Dean cranks it over the top, but another phenomenal save that time by the libero, Casey Pirtle. But it was driven so hard it drifted all the way out of bounds to the other side. Great up. You won't see it any better on the high school level. But Southside gets the point, 15-11. And they continue to serve. Now here's McDaniel trying to set Webb. She cranks it and finds a spot. The hammer, if you will, just in front of the outstretched hands of Caitlin Scott, the sophomore defensive specialist. And Chester County gets within 3, 15-12. Here's the serve by Autumn McDaniel, the setter. It's taken up off the back row. Now here's Dean with an approach, and she just tops that ball. But probably the best thing for her, that ball floats, but it stays in. She gets it off the top of the fingers and just over the outstretched hands of that back row. Southside leading 16-12. I don't know if she meant to take something off of it, but it did anyway. Nah, Caitlin Allen, the sophomore, now serving. Now here over on 2 is Webb. It's a nice up by the Southside back row. Dean has to go over. She pushes it, and they're going to call double contact on that push. Well, okay. So Chester County is going to get the point off that call, 16-13. Southside with the lead. And Bailey Smith, who's had a phenomenal game for Chester County so far, back to serve, trailing by 3. Here's the pass right to the middle to Haltom. Here's Dean with the approach and a killer, an absolute shot down the line. She said, you know what? Try to fetch that one, Pirtle. And you know what? Pirtle almost did. I'll tell you what, man, you want to talk about a defender on the high school level. Casey Pirtle is it. This young lady just knows how to read where the shot's going. She couldn't catch up to that one, but most people can't off the hands of Shay Dean. So here we go, 17-13. Here's the pass and approach over. It's a cross-court shot. Beautiful up by the back row. And over and back again. Now here's Dean, has to go over on this one. Rolls it to the middle. Bailey Smith saves it. McDaniel. Now here's a high set and a crank by Webb. Holy cow. Boy, Dean didn't have a prayer getting up to that one for the block. And I'll tell you what, it was a great effort that time by Sydney Shelton, the junior defensive specialist. But, man, give Ashton Webb a lot of credit. She just turned on that ball. Now Webb trailing 17-14. Back for the jump serve. She comes over. Back over. Here's Haltom now. Yeah, I was afraid of that. The set a little too far off the net, and Dean had to come from behind the 10-foot line and just couldn't get enough of it. A middle error that time, and Southside gives up a point to Chester County. 17-15. Chester County trailing by 2, and Webb and her jump serve trying to get it within 1. Here we go. Here's Webb with a beautiful bullet. It's taken, though, and a great job by Haltom over on the third set. Here's McDaniel with the set. Driven hard down the line that time by number 22, Jansen Robinson. And I'll tell you what, I need to give a little more credit to the setter here for Chester County, Autumn McDaniel. She's doing a fantastic job tonight for Chester County. They are within 1 here in the second set as Ashton Webb comes back for her serve. It's taken up and trying to get it out of the net. It was a great effort by Chloe Matthews, but that jump serve by Ashton Webb is just absolutely dying, and it's got some mustard on it on that spin. No question about it. We are knotted up at 17. And let me tell you a few folks that help bring in high school volleyball. How about First South Bank, the locally owned and operated bank that's right here in Jackson and around West Tennessee? They offer relationship banking, flexibility with prompt decisions. They want to be your bank. Please visit them at your convenient location in Madison, Hardeman, Haywood, and Dyer County. First South Bank here in Jackson, 1862 US 45 bypass, 1955 South Highland, and Westtown Commons, 77 Stonebrook Place. First South Bank. Oh boy, we've got ourselves a good one here at the Hawks Nest. Tied at 17 in the second set, and running off 3 straight is Ashton Webb for Chester County. She's trying to take the lead. Chester County did win the first set, 25-19 over Southside. Don't forget you can watch this game on this match on point5digital.com. And a service error off the timeout. Great timeout there by Tommy Dean. He saw it getting away, calls the timeout, and out of that timeout cools off a hot server. And now with the 18-17 lead, here's Shay Dean coming back the other way. Picked up. Now here's McDaniel, rolled over by Robinson to the back row. Now here's a set by Haltom. A slow roller that time by Kai Sain, picked up by Chester County. Chester County has to go over, and they find the spot. Rihanna Colbert, she's done a great job of placement tonight. She finds just a soft little spot there, and Chester County ties this match back up. Serving for the Lady Eagles, Peyton Davidson. Knotted up at 18 here in the second set. There's Davidson with the serve. Taken off the back row, shanked, and out of bounds. Well, that was not a hard serve, just a mental error that time by Southside. And they find themselves trailing 19-18 with Davidson getting ready to serve once again. Serve is good. Here's a nice pass this time to Haltom. Back over to Kaya Sain. It's dug up by Bailey Smith off the back row. Here's a shot cross court dug up from the back row. Here's a set by Haltom. Kaya Sain rolls it right there in the middle. Little hubby wife action by Kaya Sain. The senior outside hitter ties this set back up at 19. And serving for the Hawks will be sophomore Caitlin Scott. Here's Scott, the lefty, with a long floater. Bailey Smith retrieves it just inside. Now she rolls one from the back line. Here is Haltom setting up Sain with a drive. Dug up off the back line by Webb. Here's the set by Robinson. Driven down by Robinson and taken off the back line. Here's Kai Sain rolling a shot that hit about the bottom of the white and then rolled over the top. Chester County on their heels. Can't get to it. Just a beautiful roller that time by Kai Sain. And the Lady Hawks retake the lead here 20-19 in this crucial second set. Let's see what we've got here. It's a stoppage of play here. The officials getting together, not sure what this one's about. While they're talking, D. Philippe, do me a favor. You got an update on what's going on in the Bronx in the AL wild card between the Yanks and the Stros?
Actually, it's still 1-0, top of the third. So far, Houston is ahead, top of the third.
Man, don't mess with Texas, 20-19. Southside with the lead here in the second set. Here's Bailey, and a beautiful job that time, by Jansen Robinson. That was Bailey Smith with a beautiful pass, and I thought that ball was going way too far. And then just a great job of placement by Jansen Robinson. Very smart, heady team is Coach Humphreys' Lady Eagles. We're tied at 20 here in the second set. Here's the serve by Chester County. Two Hawks go after it, but they avoid disaster. Now, here's a set. Bailey Smith approaches, rolls it, but she is stoned that time by Kaya Sain. Smith, beautiful touch on the ball, but Kaya Sain got up high enough. It floated, and then she just puts it right back down in the face of the setter. And Southside with the 21-20 lead. And it's senior Kristen Long back to serve, hoping to run it out. Long with the serve. She serves Smith. The setter goes over on two, Haltom, but now she tries to go over on two, but it floats on her, but it's a good thing because Kaya Sain takes it and cranks it to an open spot on the court, 22-20, a critical point this time for Southside. And no question about it, Coach Humphreys says, I don't like what I'm seeing out of this one. Let's take this 30-second timeout. Southside leading 22-20 here in the second set on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of an automatic boat naming machine.
Name number 1, yeah, buoy, spelled B-U-O-Y, ha ha ha. Name number 2, peer pressure, get it, P-I-E-R. See what I did there? Name number 3, great boat insurance from Progressive at a great price. Maybe a little bit long-winded, but
Progressive Boat Insurance. The coverage you need, starting around just $8 a month. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. $8 monthly premium excludes fees and taxes and time available in all states.
First in news, first in sports, the NFL and Monday Night Football only on News Talk 101.5 FM.
Well, back to action. Here is Bailey Smith with a cross-court bomb. Boy, Bailey Smith is really ratcheting her game up here in the later stages of this second set to pull Chester County within one. It's 22-21. Southside with the slimmest of leads late here in the second set. And serving is Kelsey Pirtle, who's had a phenomenal game defensively. the serve. Now here's the set to Kai Sane, rolls it off the net, but it's dug up by Smith. Now back over to McDaniel. Going over is Robinson. Dug up off the back row. Here's Haltham. She gets it over to Sane, who rolls it. It's lifted up by McDaniel. Now here's Webb. Cranks it, but dug up off the back row. Sane goes over on two, but dug up once again by Chester County. Now rolled over by Chester County. Here's the set by Haltham. Here's Kaya Sane with a drive that goes too far. Wasn't able to break that wrist. She had the spot. But the ball goes long, and we are tied at 22 apiece with Pirtle serving for Chester County. Here's Pirtle's serve. Taken off the back row, now over here and rolled by the setter. That's Haltham. Now here's Webb approaching the two, but she's stuffed at the net. Kaya Sane was right there in perfect position. And I'll tell you what, look, Webb goes about 6'1", and she's got some mustard on those shots, but Sane just stuffs her right at the net. 23-22, Southside with the lead, and Southside catching one here because the setter, Autumn McDaniel, called for a double hit in this situation. How critical is it? And now Chloe Matthews for set point here, 24-22. Here's her serve. McDaniel with the set. Here's Webb with the approach. She's stuffed, but it's lifted by Chester County. She goes back over on two. It's up. Here's Haltham with the set. Dean with the crank. It's down right off of Bailey Smith, and Southside wins the second set. Oh, baby, high drama. Love that one. Fantastic finish to that set. Southside wins 25-22 in the second set after losing 25-19 in the first, and we are all knotted up at one. It's a race to three. Best of whoever wins three sets first, they're the ones whose season will continue after tonight. We'll take this 2-minute timeout, come back and get you ready for set number 3 from the Hawks Nest on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
Jackson's Place when it comes to design of unique, customized birthday, wedding, retirement, holiday cakes, and cupcakes. L&T Bakery also has the area's largest assortment of cake balls, cookies, and other treats. And a reasonably priced daily lunch specials will keep you coming back. L&T Bakery's distinctive pretty pink boxes are filled with the freshest desserts and overflowing, making life sweeter one bite at a time. Come see for yourself at L&T Bakery, a North Star Drive across from the bowling alley. Call 300-4042.
Business owners, if you had a fire or flood and had to close your doors for several weeks or even months to make repairs, how would you pay your bills? Business interruption coverage can help cover payroll, rental equipment, a temporary location, or other expenses until you can reopen your business. I'm Gabe Mudd with Allison Insurance Group. Our free policy analysis service will help you determine if you have all the protection you need. Call us at 668-8444.
Insurance is the way to protect yourself and your family, and no one is better helping you through the insurance maze than Brandon Jones State Farm. Brandon Jones has been Jackson's State Farm agent since 2006 after graduating from Lambeth University. Home and property, life, health, banking products, annuities, mutual funds, all the products you need to ensure a prosperous future. Brandon Jones State Farm Insurance, 2152 North Highland across from Toys R Us, 660-6800 for Brandon Jones State Farm Insurance.
It's 4th and goal with 3 seconds left in the game.
Make sure this is the last spot.
Stress. Blue Hawaiian Pools and Spas has your stress relief. A spa from Blue Hawaiian helps you relax and unwind after a long day, or maybe after your favorite team just blew a 3-touchdown lead. Blue Hawaiian has spas that receive as few as 3 people or as many as 8. And this time of year, you can get a great price on a pool. Blue Hawaiian has installed more than 2,100 pools in West Tennessee. Call Blue Hawaiian Pools and Spas on North Star Drive in Jackson, 668-9220.
To Jackson Mobile News Talk FM. This is WNWS FM Jackson. 101.5 FM.
Just underway. Southside gets the first point of set number 3. We're tied at 2 sets. Here's a great set by Haltham. Driven cross court, but lifted up by Chester County. Now here's Haltham. Dean over on 2. Cranks it, finds a spot just down the line, and Southside with the early 2-0 lead here in set number 3. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here at the Hawks Nest. And if you're watching on point5digital.com, that's courtesy of Worthy Road Studio. Now serving for Southside, Chloe Matthews. That ball drifts just a little too far, goes out of bounds, and Chester County will take the ball, and it will be Autumn McDaniel, their setter, back to serve, trailing 2-1. McDaniel with the serve. It's taken from the back row over to Haltom. She sets up Dean with an approach, but it's called for a double contact on the handset. And with the handset, you can't have that big rotation of the ball. If you bump set, it doesn't matter what it looks like, but if you're going to hand set it, it's got to be perfect. Now, here's a bump set that drifts over the net to the Chester County side, and here's a back set for the 2, and Webb drives it down right in front of the feet of a back row defender waiting Kristen Long. She was in position, but Webb just cranks it from her about 4 feet off the net, but with that length, she can do it with no problem. So McDaniel going back for her third serve. They're leading 3-2 our Chester County. A nice up that time from the back row and over by Matthews. Here's the set by McDaniel. Webb cranks it and off of a Southside Hawk. I think they're going to say Caitlin Scott, the sophomore, got a piece of that, and Chester County adds to their lead 4-2. And Chester County out on the court having a big time right now. Really into this game, especially Kelsey Pirtle. She is into this match. Now here's the serve by McDaniel. Here's a set and approach and an absolute bomb down the left side. Dean said, "How you think that's fun? How about one of these?" Man, Dean had some mustard on that bad boy. 4-3 with a very impressive kill there by the junior middle hitter. So Caitlin Allen, the sophomore defensive specialist, will serve. Trailing 4-3. It's a short serve taken by the back row. McDaniel sits. Webb approaches and absolutely drives a bullet down the left line. Make that the right line, and it is off of Kristen Long. 5-3. Chester County, and credit McDaniel. Autumn McDaniel with some great sets for her hitters so far. Now Bailey Smith, probably the MVP of this match so far to this point for Chester County. Bailey Smith. Now here's the pass, and Haltom goes over on 2. May not have meant to, but goes over on 2. Now here's another dink. Great cover by the Rover. Dean has to go over. She does. Lifted up by Smith. It's a tight set, but a good one. Webb turns and cranks. Well, that's clinical volleyball right there. Everybody in position, a well-oiled machine, rotating, moving just like you're supposed to do. In this great sport, everyone has to do their job and do it right. And if you don't, you will stick out like a sore thumb. Chester County running that one to perfection, leading 6-3. Here's Bailey Smith with the serve, taken over to Haltom. She back sets it, and it's a roll by Dean back to the back line, taken by Pirtle. Now here's Bailey Smith with a backcourt crank, but it's dug up by Southside. Here's a roll. Now here's McDaniel with the serve. Webb goes once again, but Dean goes up, blocks her, turns around, spins over on 2. Here's a set by McDaniel. It's tight, taken over by Southside's Ashlyn Cliff, the freshman, and puts it down just in front of the feet of Kelsey Pirtle. So 6-4, Southside will get the serve. It will be Sydney Shelton. Shelton, a junior defensive specialist, and Southside trailing by 2. Here's Shelton's serve. Dug up off the back row, bump set by McDaniel, rolled over cross court up by the back line for Southside. Dean's going to have to go over on this one. She can't get to it. The ball goes into the crowd, and Chester County with a 7-5 lead. Now checking back into the match is Rihanna Colbert. She comes in for Kelsey Pirtle, and I'm pretty sure Southside has no problem seeing Pirtle go to the bench. Here's Webb and her jump serve, her long jump serve. It's dug by Dean off the back row. Now Dean's got a push. Great stop push that time. Dean's at the net. Here's a set that goes long. Rolled over that time. Dean has to go back over the net. Webb saves it and going out of bounds. Here's a set by McDaniel on the front row, dug up by the back row Southside. Here's a back set by Haltom, rolled by Dean, but picked up by Chester County. And what do we got? Well, we got 2 hits, double contact by Chester County. They've had 3 or 4 of those tonight, and that bails out Southside 7-5. Southside trading here in the third set. We're knotted at 1 set apiece with Shay Dean, the junior, back to serve. Here's the serve, catches the net and rolls right in front of the feet of Ashton Webb. Beautiful serve by the junior. 7-6 as Dean approaches the ball. It's another low serve. Bailey Smith's able to pick it up. Now here's McDaniel. Bailey going to have to go back over. She does. Dug up by the back row. Here's Haltom. Dean with an approach. A long shot that goes out of bounds from behind the 10-foot line. Dean tries to crank it, but the ball goes just a little long on her, and Chester County gets the point and the ball. Let's see what we've got here. That's a substitution. That will be Peyton Davidson checking in for Haley Kessler for Chester County, and Peyton will immediately go serve, leading 8-6 here in the third set. Here's the serve. It's a low one, but it's taken. Here's Haltom with the approach to Sane. Here's a cross-court shot dug up by Bailey Smith. Now Haltom sets Sane again, who jousts at the net with Rihanna Colbert. And you know what? There are very few people in high school volleyball that's going to win a joust with Kai Sane, and they didn't that time either. Sane gets the point. The Hawks with the 8-7, actually trailing 8-7. Now here's a back set by Chester County. Nice little push. Rolled over by Southside. They go deep. Now here's a save by Webb. Gets it over. Here's a push set to the 2. Dug up off the back row. Here's Haltom with a back set. It's tied, so she has to roll it. That's Sane. But Chester County's there. Now they push it on the back line. Let's see what we've got here. I think it's a double contact once again, that time on Jansen Robinson. And Coach Humphrey's not happy about that one at all. She's not happy about that at all. That notch things back at 8 here in the third set. Tied up and tied in sets as well. Here's the serve, Bailey. Smith picks it up. Here's a back set, rolled, and it's picked up by Southside over on 1. Back into position once again. Here's another roll cut shot hit by Sane. Now lifted by Haltom. Now here's Sane with a approach, a drive that is picked up by Ashton Webb off the back line. Bailey Smith rolls it, and it goes off of Chloe Matthews out of bounds. What a great up that time by Chester County, and Coach Humphrey is fired up, and so is Bailey Smith. She slaps that ball and says, let's go. Chester County with the 9-8 lead here in the third set. Serving that ball is Robinson. Now here's a tight roll that time by Haltom. Here's Bailey Smith with an approach, but a great job of rotation by Sane. Now here she goes with the approach. She goes in between 2 blockers. She's stuffed, but she lifts it back over to Chester County. Ashton Webb. Here's Bailey Smith with the roll. She's taken at the back line. Now here's Haltom with the set. Kai Sane with another rolled shot right there, lifted up at the 10-foot line. Here's the set. It's over, and it's taken by Southside. It's a tight set. She spins it. Bailey Smith somehow keeps it alive, gets it over. Southside gets it up. Chester County's got to come over here. The third shot, and boy, back row save. Now over on 2 by Haltom. Here's a tight set. Bailey Smith swings, but it's dug up off the back row. Here's Haltom with the back bump set. Rolled, and it's saved. Now here's Kylie Sane with the approach and goes down. She hits on 1 and goes straight over that back line. Nice rally by both of these teams. Southside gets the point and ties it up. We are absolutely 100% tied all the way down the line. 1 set apiece and 9 points here in the second set. Serving for Southside is Kristen Long. Bailey Smith with the pass to the middle. Here's Bailey Smith on the approach. She swings, but she's long with her shot. Out of bounds. Southside regains the lead with the last 3 points. 10-9 Southside. Long to serve. Long with the serve taken by Bailey Smith. Smith's going to approach, gets a shot, hits it over the top of 2 blockers, comes off the back row. Here's Sane going to have to go over on 2. It's a nice push and a great job, and that's the 4th hit. Great job of Kaya Sane recognizing that she had no blocker in front of her and she could go over on 2, and Southside, or in Chester County, was out of position. And Susan Humphrey says, I want to think about this. So we'll take this 30-second timeout. Southside leading 11-9 here in the second set, tied at 1 set apiece. You're listening to High School Volleyball on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
You have to sit on your pile of blankets just to watch TV at Jackson here in
Oh, yeah.
Performance. You'll notice a difference right away. Your system will run better, and you'll spend less money on energy and repair. You can turn up the heat a little without the fear of paying too much for the heat. Call Jackson Heating and Air Conditioning at 424-5348.
Heat today. Man, I can't sing.
48. Hey, we've even got the Super Bowl. News Talk 101.5 FM.
Well, here we go, 11-9, and Kristen Long still serving for Southside. Long with the serve, taken by Webb off the back row. Here's a set. Bailey Smith with the approach. She stopped at the net, but lifted back once again by Smith, taken to the back row. Here's Haltham with the set, going over to Sain. She spins one on the back row. It's lifted. Webb gets it back up in the air. Going to have to go over on this one. Chester County does. Now here's the set over to Haltham. She sets up Sain, who drives a shot cross court just out in front of the back row. That's Jansen Robinson. Got a piece of it, but not enough. Southside still rolling now. 12-9, Kristen Long serving once again. Here's Bailey Smith with the pass over on two. Back row, here's Haltham going back over to Sain. She'll roll it to the back row. Going over on two is the set that time by Chester County. Here's Haltham set. She goes the backside, but the approach was too soon. So we got a back set by Chester County. Trying to roll it over the top of Kaya Sain is Rihanna Colbert, and doing just that. And Kaya Sain coming up a little gimpy, looks like, a little slow. Maybe one of those knees. Let's see if she's going to stay in the game. Looks like she will. Chester County trailing 12-10. And Kelsey Pirtle with an errant serve into the net. And she's a very good server, so that's a big break there for Southside to get her out of the service rotation. 13-10. The Hawks with the lead, and Chloe Matthews serving. Great low serve, but it is dug up by Bailey Smith and turned on by Ashton Webb. A beautiful shot, but goes just wide. Well, Webb can really hit that ball, but she hits it just wide. 14-10, Southside with the lead. Here's Chloe Matthews with her serve. Dug up by Pirtle. Dean tries to go over on two. It's lifted up by Chester County. Now here's a bounce pass. It goes over and basically sets up Bailey Smith with a rocket shot that she puts down. 14-11, Chester County. A little contact on the back row that time between Chloe Matthews and Shay Dean. Both of them going for the ball, but they're okay. They both shake it off. 14-11, and now Autumn McDaniel will serve for Chester County. Pass taken, tight set that time, driven hard by Shay Dean, but put back down on the other side by Ashton Webb. Double blockers that time, rotating over, sliding right in front of Shay Dean. She tries to go through him. Webb wasn't having any of it. 14-12, and McDaniel back to serve. Here's McDaniel's serve. Taking nice pass that time. Here's Dean with the approach. Nobody going to dig that one up. She got it up, but couldn't do anything with it. There was some anger in that shot you could see by Shay Dean on the cross-court killer. 15-12, Southside with the lead. Boy, this is a fantastic match, guys. Hope you're watching and listening. Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com. That's served by Kaylin Allen. Here's a roll, but it's taken by Shay Dean. It's lifted up over the top. Now the setter is too far off, so Bailey Smith has to roll it. It's taken by the back line. Now here, setting up an approach by Shay Dean. It's touch contact, lifted by the back row. Here's Autumn McDaniel, a roller by Bailey Smith to the back row. Now here's a tight set off the left side that finds a small little crack in that Chester County defense, and that is Ashlyn Clift, the freshman, and she didn't have a blocker because Chester County is so concentrated. Most of these passes are going to Shay Dean, so Ashlyn Clift had to open net, and she made the most of it. 16-12, Southside with the lead. Here's McDaniel. It's an offset. Webb rolls it to the back line. Now here's a set and an approach by Dean, lifted up off the back row by Robinson. And it hits the top of the net and rolls back to Chester County side. Doesn't clear and go over. And Southside with their biggest lead of this set. And Coach Humphrey wants timeout, and we'll take it with them. In the third set, it's Southside. They're tied at 1. And in the third set, Southside leading 17-12 over Chester County in an elimination match here in the district semifinals. So we're back after this from the Hawks Nest in 30 seconds.
Check your tire pressure and wash your windshield. Your windshield is still up with that kind of good old-fashioned service. Queen literally folks at Papa Corner Exxon. Oh, they have self-service too. Plus you can choose ethanol or non-ethanol. And don't forget, with summertime here, make sure your vehicle is ready for vacations and summer trips. Papa Corner Exxon does minor and major repairs with skill and honesty. Propane gas is available too at Papa Corner Exxon, Hollywood and the Bypass in Jackson.
Welcome to Jackson's original News Talk FM. The information you want to hear at the office and on the road. Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM.
Here we go. Southside 17-12, and sophomore Caitlin Allen with the serve out of the timeout. Here's the set and the approach, and a nice roll that time by Haley Kessler, but it goes just wide. Good idea, just couldn't get it to go down. 18-12, a big point for Southside out of the timeout. Caitlin Allen, the sophomore, still serving. Here's her serve taken off the back row by Kessler. Here's the back set and an approach by Ashton Webb. Who else with a bomb from the 2 spot? And that's really her place. That's where the Autumn McDaniel likes to set her, and Webb knows what to do with it when she puts it right there. So it's 18-13. Chester County trying to close this gap. It was at 6, down to 5, and they got the person they want back there, Bailey Smith, with the serve. Here's a roller taken by the back row over to Haltom. Now here's Dean with the approach. Just rolls it. Beautiful diving save that time by Bailey Smith, but it's put down by Shay Dean at the net. Boy, this Smith is one heck. That back row defense between Smith and Pirtle is absolutely fantastic, but Dean just knows how to place that ball where it needs to go. Now checking into the game for Southside for the first time tonight, J.C. Sidwell, the junior, in for Kristen Long. 19-13. We're going to wipe a little moisture off the Chester County side here. And back serving for the Lady Hawks is Sydney Shelton, the junior defensive specialist, leading 19-13. Here's Shelton's serve. Pirtle from the back row. Nice set, but it's tight. Here's Webb, an approach and a joust at the net between Webb and Dean. Guess who? Shay Dean with the roof that time of Ashton Webb, the 2 tallest players on the court. And it was a battle at the net. This one won by Shay Dean. Southside with a 20-13 lead. Here's the serve. Pirtle gets it over to McDaniel. Now here's a roller, a deep line roller taken by Southside. Now here's Dean rolling it over, but into the bottom of the net, just a little too far off. That's a hard shot to make when you're looking at the back row. Then you got to turn and face the net and try to roll that ball over. It takes a lot of touch. It's not an easy shot to make, and that time it hit the bottom of the net and went down. 20-14, and Ashton Webb and her jump serve back for Chester County. Here's a shot that's taken by Dean. Dean over on 2, comes really close to that net. I don't know how she stayed out of it, but she did. Robinson comes over with a soft shot. Now here's Haltom looking to set up Dean. She does, and Dean tools it off of 2 blockers. Both blockers rotate over. It doesn't matter. They had 2 of their shorter players, and Dean just tools it right off of them. 21-14. The junior middle hitter trying to close things out here in the 3rd set for the Lady Hawks. Here's Dean with the serve taken by Bailey Smith. Now a roller from the left side dug up. Here's Haltom with the approach. Kaya Sane gets the ball and puts it down. Now, we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of Kaya Sane and Shay Dean in the match at the same time, but that's exactly what we've got because Tommy Dean wants to close this set out. 22-14, and it's a serve into the net, and Tommy Dean puts his hands in his face and says, no, no, no. 22-15, the Hawks 3 points away from taking a commanding 2-1 game, 2-1 set lead over Chester County. Now here's Chester County with the serve. Taken off the back row. Here's Haltom. And it's a roller that finds a spot. That was actually J.C. Sidwell, and nobody came up to the net. They knew she wasn't going to spike because she was too far off, and she did a great job of placing it cross court just past that 10-foot line and just inside the line there. 23-15. And serving for Southside is Caitlin Scott. Bailey Smith from the back row. Now here's a roller by Robinson taken over to Haltom. She set same, but that's going to be a double contact for sure, and that's exactly what it was. 23-16. Tommy Dean grimaces and says, no, man, come on, man. Jansen Robinson back to serve for Chester County. They're trailing 23-16. Here's the serve by Robinson. It's up. Going to have to go over on 1, rolled back over to the south side. Here's Haltom setting Kaya Sane, but she's dug up from the back row. Now here's Bailey Smith with a drive that's dug up off the back row. Now here's Sane at the net, hits it off the top of the net and falls right in front of the feet of Jansen Robinson. She got back on those heels waiting for a big drive from Kaya Sane, which would have been there, but it clipped that net and just rolled in front of them. So it is set point here. 24-16. Plenty of chances for Southside here to take a commanding 2-1 lead. And it's on Kristen Long, the senior, for the serve. She served. Bailey Smith gets it back to the middle. A roller over the top of Sane, but it goes back over to Southside. She hits it into the net. Can't do that. 24-17. Sane wanted to go over on 2, but she was just out of position. That's a tough angle. Now, she's got the hops for it, but it was just a tough angle to get done. 24-17. Kelsey Pirtle trying to fight off this set here. Pirtle with the serve for Chester County. Serves it into the bottom of the net, and that gives the set to Southside. 25-17. Southside wins the second set to take a commanding 2-1 lead. They lost the first 25-19, then 25-22 they win. Now they win this set 25-17, and they're looking to win one more to take it all the way home. We'll take this 2-minute timeout. 2-minute timeout. Come back, get you ready for the fourth set here from the Hawks Nest on Jax's News Talk 101.5 FM and .5digital.com.
Insurance is the way to protect yourself and your family, and no one is better helping you through the insurance maze than Brandon Jones State Farm. Brandon Jones has been Jackson's State Farm agent since 2006 after graduating from Lambert University. Home and property, life, health, banking products, annuities, mutual funds. All the products you need to ensure a prosperous future. Brandon Jones State Farm Insurance, 2152 North Highland across from Toys R Us. 660-6800 for Brandon Jones State Farm Insurance.
County Cavalier Sports. Watch on .5digital.com. Presented by Southern Trucks and 4x4. Jasper Tickle and Tony at Law. The Bank of Crockett.
Can you get that for me?
Burgers, pasta, pizza, and more. Best One Tire. The Old Town Spaghetti Store. Crockett County Cavalier Sports. Only on .5digital.com.
It's Toyota time. Remember the exciting feeling last time you purchased your new car? Now amplify it. I'm Ryan Lindsay from Robinson Toyota in Jackson, Tennessee. Check us out.
Make this the last
or
spot.
come to our state-of-the-art facility where I will make your car buying experience easy and hassle-free. Let me help you drive away in the Toyota of your dreams today. Ask for me, Ryan Lindsay.
Robinson Toyota, 1453 Van Drive in the Collins. Shop online 24/7 at RobinsonToyota.com.
How reliable is your car? I can put you in one of the world's most reliable cars, trucks, or
make
SUVs.
this last spot for sure.
Toyota. No pressure, no hassle, just plain old friendly service. We can even finance your new or certified vehicle on the spot with rates as low as zero. I'm no rocket scientist, but the last time I checked,
zero is as low as it goes.
Let me help get you on the road to reliability. This is Roger Harris. Call me today at 731-616-6827. That's 616-6827. Robinson Toyota, 1453 Van Drive in the Collins. Let's go places.
The station you rely on for dependable sports information. Who's your daddy? This is News Talk 101.5 FM.
Well, we're getting ready to start the fourth set here, and if Chester County wants to extend their season, they're going to have to win this set. Southside up 2-1, and Chester County to start things off here in the fourth with Autumn McDaniel. Back row. Now here's a long set that's going to have to be taken by the back row. Back over to Chester County, now to McDaniel. She wants to set up Smith. Smith cranks one off of Kai Sane and out of bounds. Sane says, oh, why didn't I let that one go? Because it was on you before you could think. Great swing there by Bailey Smith, 1-0. Chester County with the early lead here in the fourth set, and setter Autumn McDaniel back to serve once again. Here's McDaniel with the serve taken from the back row. Now here's a bump set by Haltom. Kai Sane rolling one deep and far out of bounds. Couple of mental mistakes here to start this set off here, this fourth set. Potential clincher. And Chester County getting off on the right foot. They lead 2-0. Now here's Haltom with a back bump set. Rolled by Kayasane. Here over to McDaniel. It's a little dink right there by Ashton Webb. The set was too low to kill, but not too low for Kayasane, but she's dug up off the shoulder of Bailey Smith, who tries to roll it from behind the 10-foot line, but doesn't get enough on it. Goes into the bottom of the net, and Southside will get the ball, and it will be Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, starting off the serving for Southside. Now here's a beautiful pass straight into McDaniel. Webb turns down, but it's dug up off the back row. Here's another set by McDaniel. Goes back to Webb. This time, no such luck. You're not digging at me. You're not going to dig me twice. It's not going to happen. Great shot just inside about a foot or two inside the back line, and Chester County with the 3-1 lead, and Bailey Smith back to serve for Chester County. Bailey surveys the land, looks around, puts the serve over, taken by the back row, over to Haltom. She wants to go to Dean. It's a tight set. It goes over, drifts. Chester County goes over, but it sets Dean back up again, rolls it off the top of the net, and just in front of the outstretched arms of Kelsey Pirtle. And point for Southside. Now here's substitution. Coming out is setter Haley Haltom for Southside. She is replaced by Caitlin Allen, the sophomore, who will go back and serve. Allen with the serve, trailing 3-2, taken by Pirtle. Now over to McDaniel. They're going to have to go by Bailey Smith, who hits one from the back line. And Shay Dean was all over it. She knew exactly where Smith was going, and she puts it straight down. We are tied at 3 here in the fourth set. Shay Dean really starting to take over now, as she tends to do later in matches. Now here's Pirtle with the pass to McDaniel. It's a back bump set. Ashton Webb rolls it over. Here's that Southside. Here's Dean once again. Rolls another one off the tape and down on the floor. Trust me, this is not an accident. That's exactly what she means to do. By the way, in the rotation, that makes Caitlin Scott the setter for Southside. Back to serve once again, Caitlin Allen. 4-3 with the Southside with the lead. Here's a long serve taken by Pirtle at the back line. Here's McDaniel with a back set rolled by Webb, lifted up by the back line. Here's Dean with a shot that I didn't think cleared the tape. And that's what Coach Humphrey said, but we play on. Here's Webb, cranks it just off the left arm of Shay Dean, and down. We're tied at 4. I'm kind of with Coach Humphrey on that one. That's what I saw too. That's exactly what I saw. 4-4. Here we are, knotted up. Ashton Webb with that fantastic jump serve. She's back deep, spins it up and cranks it. It's dug up off the back row and taken over on 2 by Shay Dean. McDaniel here gets it over to Robinson. Here's a long shot down the back line. Now setting up Dean at a 2. Cranks it right past Bailey Smith. Bailey gets a little piece of it with her left arm, but not nearly enough. Shay Dean off of a beautiful bump set by Haley Haltom. We just checked back in the game. The junior server setting up her middle hitter big time. Shay Dean said, I'll take that. I'll take them just like that every single time. Now serving for Southside, that is Sydney Shelton. Bailey Smith with the pass to the middle of McDaniel over to Robinson. She stuffed at the net. It goes back to Chester County. Here's another set. Going to have to roll it. They do. Now here's Haltom with the set of Dean. She cranks. It goes off the hitter, off the blocker. Now saved over by Ashton Webb. Hits it from the back line. Here's Haltom setting up Dean with another shot. This time there's no answer for the 6'1 junior because she cranks it cross court just in between Robinson and Bailey Smith. Southside with the 6-4 lead, trying to close this joint out in the fourth set. They lead 2-1 after dropping the first set 25-19. Here's the serve taken by Webb to McDaniel. It's set at the 2. A little roll that's stuffed by Dean. Well, Rihanna Colbert had that shot down all night long, but she went to the well one too many times. And Dean, as we said, taking this match over, puts it down on the Chester County side, and Southside with a 7-4 lead. And Sydney Shelton with the serve. Now McDaniel over here. Here's a roll by Colbert once again, taken by the back line. Here is a Haltom set that is driven by Dean, dug up by the back row. Here's Robinson coming back the other way. She has a shot, but it's dug up off the back line. Bailey Smith back over to McDaniel. Here's a set by Robinson once again. Rolls a dink, but it's picked up by Southside. Here's a back set. Crushed! I mean, crushed that time by Shay Dean. And you had a couple of Chester County players that ran into each other, and right now Bailey Smith is shaken up. She gets off the floor. She ran into one of her teammates. I don't know if she might have got busted in the mouth that time, but let me tell you something. Shay Dean with an absolute whopper that time. Somehow, by the way, Asher Webb was able to get that ball up, and it went over the net. But Dean right there in position to poke it right back down, and that's when Bailey Smith ran into one of her teammates. Hey, head over to Great American Sports, 125B, Old Hickory Boulevard here in Jackson. Call them at 422-6203. They specialize in sporting equipment. It's what they do. Softball, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, and school spirit wear. They've got youth, high school, and college uniforms, and they provide screen printing and embroidery services. They also have a wide selection of trophies, and they take trades on softball and baseball bats, and they have a very good selection of used softball and baseball bats. Boy, it seems like all of Southside is here in the gym tonight. For those of you who are not, we hope you're listening on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM, or you might be watching on point5digital.com. Paul Schulze in Worthy Road Studios bringing you that super clear picture. Hey, Grandpa, you get to watch your little granddaughter tonight thanks to Paul and point5digital.com in Lawson. They're doing a fantastic job. And by the way, these games are archived. So here we go, 8-4, Southside with the lead here in the fourth set, and it's a double contact that time by Autumn McDaniel, and it brings the lead to 9-4 for Southside. The Lady Hawks starting to take over here in the fourth set. Here's the serve. It's a floater to Bailey Smith, over to McDaniel. She wants to set up a nice roller on the line by Robinson, but she is absolutely stoned that time by J.C. Sidwell. The junior Sidwell has come in and logged in some good minutes here in the third and fourth set tonight. So Sydney Shelton back to serve once again, leading 10-4. Oh, boy, that was close. And here's McDaniel. Robinson tries to roll one down the left line, and she does just that. A little bit more mustard on that roll. We'll call that a straight drive. 10-5, Southside with a 5-point lead here in the fourth set, and up 2-1, Chester County. And that is Peyton Davidson back to serve for the Lady Eagles. Here's Davidson's serve. It's taken on the back row. Now over on two. Back to the middle, and here's Robinson with a roller just taken off the back line. Here's Haltham with a set that is taken by Shay Dean and rolls it right off the top of that net, and that's the fourth time that she has done that in this set alone. Dean taking over this match, but again, you can't do it without a great setter, and Haley Haltham is serving up her middle hitter all night long. Now 11-5, Shay Dean with the serve. Bailey Smith with the back row hit, dug up. Now here's Shay Dean leaving from about the free throw line, if you will, cranking it, but too long out of bounds. Chester County will take the ball, trailing 11-6, and it will be Jansen Robinson to serve for Chester County. Robinson with the serve. It's taken off the back row. It's tight, but able to be dug up. And Kaya Sane long on the hit, so that's two straight hits. Going long, trying to crank it. Sometimes just place it. That'll work. 11-7. Here's Robinson with the serve. It's a short one, but somehow dug up and then brought over on two by Sane. What a job getting that ball off the ground. Here's Bailey Smith, who cranks it from the left angle. It's a 5, but it is out. It is wide. Smith a little bit frustrated. She's a fantastic player. She looks at coach and says, my bad, I should have had that. 12-7, Southside with the lead, and now serving Caitlin Scott, the lefty. Now having to go over on two is Robinson. Now here is Haltham with the save, setting up Sane, and Sane hits it into the bottom of the net. 12-8, a couple of hitting errors by Sane and Dean here in the last few minutes of this set is keeping Chester County in this fourth set. We got a stoppage in play. We've got some moisture there around the 10-foot line on Chester County side. And that is the reason for the stoppage in play. Robinson wipes it up, hands the ball over to Kelsey Pirtle, who will serve for Chester County, trailing 12-8 in this fourth set. Pirtle's serve on the way. taken by the back line to Haltham. Now here's Sane. Rolls it. She's stuffed, but gets it back up. Now back over once again. Now here's McDaniel with the set. Here's the approach by Webb, and she tools it off of Kaya Sane. Ashton Webb, boy, when they get her right around that 2 area, she knows what to do with it. And really, I think the only one that can handle her there for those 2 shots is Shay Dean, and Shay Dean was not in the game at that time. Tommy Dean wants a timeout, and we'll take it with him at the 30-second timeout. Southside leading 12-9 at the Hawks Nest in the 4th set, up 2-1. We're back after 30 seconds.
County Cavaliers Sports. Watch on point5digital.com. Presented by Cavalier Pizza, Southern Trucks and 4x4, Mitchell's Body Shop, Young Hughes Insurance, Tennessee Tractor, Brownsville Bell's Funeral Home, and Ken Davis Insurance. Crockett County Cavalier Sports. Only on point5digital.com.
More than just a headlines. Get the real story here. Your source for news, weather, sports, and traffic. Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM.
Well, what a break for Chester County here. Pirtle hit a serve that was going long, and Matthews tried to get out of the way, and the ball hit her. Now here's the serve taken over on 1. Now McDaniel setting up Webb. She knows what to do with it. She pounds it, and out of that timeout, 2 quick points for Chester County, and just like that, what was a 12-8 lead has shrunk down to 12-11 with Pirtle serving once again. Southside clinging to a 1-point lead here in the 4th set. Pirtle with the serve. Taken by Matthews over to Haltham. She wants to set up Sane. Sane rolls it over the top of 2 blockers and just out in front of the hands of Peyton Davidson. What big placement there that time by the senior Kaya Sane. That's where that vertical comes into play, when you can elevate over those blockers when they're taller than you and still survey the entire court. Great shot that time by Sane. Now back to serve Kristen Long for Southside, 13-11, Lady Hawks. Here's McDaniel over to Bailey Smith. Cranks it cross court and puts it down. Big shot that time by Bailey Smith. Fantastic set by McDaniel. Coach Humphrey's pretty excited about that one, and it's 13-12, Southside with the 1-point lead, and McDaniel back to serve for the Lady Eagles. Serve taken by the back row. Haltham with the service. Sane approaches and hits right over the top of 2 blockers and right over Robinson on the back row, but finds a space just in front of the back line. And a big hit by Kaya Sane. A couple of big points by the senior in the last minute here as a 14-12 lead for the Hawks. And Chloe Matthews back to serve for Southside. Go ahead and pop that down for me if you don't mind. It's 15-12, Southside with a 3-point lead. Dan, if you don't mind potting that down for me, buddy. Appreciate that. We are here in the final set.
Deals on great items. Habitat for Humanity Restore, 1668 North Parkway, Jackson. Call 427-6540. Schedule a pickup. Shoppers are welcome. Donations appreciated. It's that time of year. The perfect storm for me.
Well, I'm going to assume that we're here. It's 15-12. Southside with the lead here in the 4th set. Here's McDaniel with a set to Bailey Smith. She hits a cross-court shot that is dug up by the back row, back over to Pirtle. Here's McDaniel with a set from the 2 to Webb. Dug up, but just can't get it to her teammate that time. Matthews sliding with a dig, but she can't get it to go down.
I remember when someone...
Exxon does minor and major repairs with skill and honesty. Propane gas is available too at Poplar Corner Exxon, Hollywood and the Bypass in Jackson. Davis Painting Company has a great June special for our News Talk 101.5 listeners. Get 3 rooms painted and get the 4th room of equal size for free. Brian Davis comes highly recommended for doing such a superior paint job at the lowest prices. Davis Painting is bonded and insured and uses the best premium paint. Business and residential. Remember.
All right. right, here we are, 15-14. Make that 15-15. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're back here, fourth set. And Bailey Smith back to serve. 3 straight points for the Lady Eagles, tied at 15 with Southside. Elimination on the line. It's survive and advance. Lexington surviving in the first match. Bailey Smith with a beautiful serve taken over on one by Southside. It's a joust at the net, and there you know who's going to win that one between McDaniel and Dean. That's not a set. No! There was no set attempt at all. Oh, boy, I don't understand that call right there. She didn't even attempt to set the ball, and Shay Dean put it down on the floor, and now they're going to call her for setting interference. And Chester County, now I believe in justice prevailing, and it just did. Chester County with the serve into the net. I still don't understand that call, and I know Tommy Dean doesn't. 16 apiece here in the fourth set, and Southside trying to close it out. Here's the serve by Caitlin Allen, tied at 16. McDaniel with a tight set, somehow stays off the net, and a beautiful job. Holy smokes of that time it was Jansen Robinson rolling it over 2 blockers just inside that 10-foot line. They couldn't get back. Southside now trailing 17-16, and Ashton Webb, the big jump serve, is back there trying to increase this Lady Eagle lead and force it into a 5th and deciding set. Here's Webb with the serve. It catches the top of the net but goes over. Now Southside has to go over from the back line. Bailey Smith gets it up. Here's McDaniel. He wants to set. Robinson rolls one deep and catches the back line. Oh, this Southside crowd does not like that. And Tommy Dean is literally 2 feet from that linesman just staring at him. You can feel the smoke coming off of him. Holy cow. 18-16. Chester County with a 2-point lead here in the fourth. Here's Webb with the set. Over to Haltham. Here's Dean with the approach. She slams it, but it's dug up by Bailey. Off McDaniel, rolled over on 2. Here's Haltham with the set of Dean again. Cranks it once again, but she's dug up again, this time by McDaniel. Tries to go back over on 1, lifted up by Chester County. Rolled by Robinson, taken up by the back line. Now here's Haltham with the set to Dean once again. And it's tooled off of 2 blockers that time. Dean said, you ain't getting me a third time. It's off of Chester County, and it's 18-17. Chester County with the 1-point lead. Coming out of the game for Southside is Kristen Long, being replaced by J.C. Sidwell, who's had some nice shots tonight, the junior. 18-17, Chester County here in the fourth. Here's the serve. Bailey Smith gets it over to McDaniel in the middle. Here's Robinson. She's bet at the net. It goes back over to Chester County. Robinson up again. Tries to dink it over the top. Here's a nice roll. Oh, J.C. Sidwell. She rolls the ball. It rolls halfway down across the net, sitting on top of it before it falls on her own side. And it's point for Chester County. Boy, that's a great shot. Just couldn't get it to roll over. 19-17, Chester County with the 2-point lead, and Peyton Davidson with the serve. She serves it to the back line. Here's Haltham with the set, an approach by Dean. Cross-court shot dug up by Davidson. Now here's Robinson. Bailey Smith with the roll taken by the back line. Back over to Haltham. Here's Dean once again. Cranks it. I don't think that ball went over. It didn't. It didn't clear the net. It wasn't a block. That ball did not clear the net, and now Southside in a world of trouble here in this set, trailing 20-17 with Davidson back to serve for Chester County once again. Here's Davidson with the serve. Dean with the pass over to Haltham. Now back over to Dean. She pushes it in a soft spot, but Bailey finds it. Bailey back over to Davidson. And Davidson is able to roll that shot, make that Robinson. Excuse me, it wasn't Davidson, it was Robinson. She gets the point. Tommy Dean wants a timeout. We'll take it with him. A 30-second timeout. We'll come back and finish off this fourth set. Will Southside win it here, or will Chester County force a third or fifth and final set? We'll find out in 30 seconds.
Feel boxed in by the limitations of your bank? Do they see you as just a number on a balance sheet? At Community Bank, we think out of the box. Being a hometown bank has its advantages. Lending, deposits, mortgages, business, or personal. At Community Bank, you're not just a customer, you're our neighbor. Fast, courteous, hometown staff for banking solutions that grow with you. Get out of the banking box and come see us at Community Bank. 3200 Northland Avenue, Jackson, Tennessee. Proud to be a real community.
Direct to your home, in your car, or at work.
go. Davidson with the serve, leading 21-14 here at the Hawks Nest in the fourth set. Here's the serve. Halton with a tight set. She goes over on two. Here's Bailey Smith back over to Davidson. Now it's the setter McDaniel who has to hit it and roll it. It's taken by Sidwell, but she's having to hit that one off of her back. She can't get the ball up, and it's a point out of the timeout for Chester County, and now they are 3 points away from forcing a fifth and final set that would determine whose season goes on and whose season is over. 22-17. Here's the serve by Davidson. Now here's Dean from the back line, dug up by Webb. Here's Davidson. Now it's Robinson with the roller down the line, dug up. Here is Dean once again off of a set that is taken by Webb. Lifted up. Now here's Robinson with a roller from the back line. Beautiful up off the back row. Oh, baby. Sydney Shelton with a beautiful up, but the team just couldn't get into position to get it back over the net. You won't see a finer up than that of Sydney Shelton, the junior defensive specialist. And that was very special. 2 points away here for Chester County from finishing this set out. Here's the serve by Davidson, and Southside catches a break. That one goes wide. 23-18. Checking back into the match now, Kaya Sane. Here's the serve by Dean. It goes over. Kai Sane attacks it, goes back over on one. Now here's a roll to the back line. Here's Dean. She wants to get a set. Now she gets one for Kaya Sane, who rolls it off of Peyton Davidson. And out of bounds, Southside gets a big point to get it within 23-19. Southside trying to close it out here, trailing by 4 late in the fourth set. Here's a diving serve that goes over and is put down with authority by Kaya Sane. A lot of mustard on that ball. Bailey Smith ends up serving it up to Kaya Sane on a platter, and Sane knows what to do with it from there. 23-20, Southside trailing by 3, and Coach Humphreys wants a timeout. While they're getting their timeout, let's tell you about my boy, my man. I've known this guy for a long time. His name is Jim Wilson. Jim Wilson Insurance Agency, 1961, South Highland. He's helping bringing you this volleyball match and the one before it tonight. Tell him you appreciate it. I know we certainly do. 424-4131. They're your local hometown insurance agency. Auto, home, life, commercial, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, campers, trailers, whatever you need, they got your insurance need covered. All right, here we go. Shay Dean trailing 23-20. Back to serve. Dean and Sane both in the match at the same time. Here's Webb with the pass to the middle. That's Davidson. Now here's a short little dink roller, but lifted up by Kai Sane. Nice job by Sane. Rolling over the top, but stuffed once again by Sane at the net. Sane patrolling the net. It goes down. 3 straight stuffs. 3 straight blocks, that is, by Kaya Sane in this match, has gotten Southside to within 2. Here's Dean with the serve, and it's long. Oh, and she just turns around and says, no. A point there would have gotten it to within 1. But now, it's triple set point for Chester County. Here's the serve, taken off the back row. Haltom over to Sane, rolls it, but dug up by Bailey. Now over to Davidson. Now here's a shot by Bailey Smith that ends the second set. Southside falls 25-21. Chester County with a big rally there in the fourth set, and we're going to go to 15 for all the marbles here in the final set. We'll take this 2-minute timeout, come back, and get you ready for the finish on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 and .5digital.com.
It's that time of year. The perfect storm, if you will. In Mulligan's, Jackson's premier spot for great burgers, lunch specials, daily that you'll never forget. Mix up with football seats. TVs located all over Mulligan's, so no matter who you're in the country,
oh, baby, eat some bread.
And cheer on your team. On Thursdays, the cheap seats will air live from Mulligan's as we kick off the week.
Yeah.
Food, fun, football, friends, and an extensive drink selection at Mulligan's. Jackson's premier get-together. Mulligan's on Union University Drive. Oh, the good old days. Do you remember when someone pumped your gas, checked your oil, checked your tire pressure, and your windshield? It was one place that still offered that kind of good old-fashioned service. Came literally the folks at Copper Corner Exxon. Oh, they have self-service too. Plus you can choose ethanol or non-ethanol. And don't forget that summertime will make sure your vehicle is ready for vacations and summer travel. Poplar Corner Exxon does minor and major repairs with skill and honesty. Propane gas is available to at Poplar Corner Exxon, Hollywood on the bypass in Jackson.
This is Attorney Bradley Owens of Hardy Martin Donahoe Owens & Leonard. We're a full-service law firm located in Jackson and Trenton, handling all types of legal matters, including personal injury, workers' compensation, divorce and family law, bankruptcy, Social Security disability, and criminal defense. Let Hardy Martin Donahoe Owens & Leonard solve all your legal problems. Call us today at 424-2150.
You how to operate it safely. They also carry Coon, Rhino, and Taylor Pittsburgh equipment, both new and used. And if something breaks down, they'll fix it for you.
Bring it back after this one for me, Dan.
Open till 4:30 on weekdays until noon on Saturday.
Thank you, buddy.
News Talk FM. This is WNWS-FM Jackson. 101.5 FM.
Well, it's very interesting to watch these two teams and their huddle up and their approach to that as they get ready for this final set. Chester County just as loose as a goose, having fun, jumping around. And over on the other side, Southside, very intense, focused, listening to every word from their coach. Let's see what approach pays off. Southside starts off the serving here in the fifth and final set. Here's Webb with a shot that is dug up on the back row. Here's Haltom, and now they're going to have to take it over on three. They do that. Now here is a set into the middle by Davidson. Here's Webb at the net. It's a shot that, oh boy, Southside thought that ball went out, but they're going to say it caught the line. And Chester County gets the first point of this set. Boy, that one was close. Here we go. Now it's McDaniel with the serve to the back row. Here's Matthews. Going to have to go over Dean. She rolls one, picked up by Bailey. Here's McDaniel setting up Bailey on the left corner. Now back to Dean. Here's Haltom with the approach. Here's Dean with a smash that is just wide. Oh, boy. Perfect setup that time by Haltom. Smash just wide, and Chester County with a very important early lead. Remember, we only go to 15 in this final. Here's McDaniel with the set, or the serve, excuse me. Now they're going to have to go over from the back row. That's Matthews. Now Pirtle with a tight set to McDaniel. Webb off the top of the Dean block in the two-hole. And out of bounds. And Chester County, who it looked like at one time was on life support, but they have rallied, tied it up, and now lead 3-0 here in the fifth and final set. And we told you, Southside very intent and focused in their huddle, and Chester County continues. It's El Carnaval over there in that huddle. They're having a large time, very loose, and it showed right there on the court. We'll see how it all plays out. It's been a great match, both of these teams providing us everything we thought it was going to be and more, and it has simply been our pleasure to bring this match to you now. The only thing left to see is which one of these teams is going to continue here on in the district semifinals. So here we go. McDaniel 3-0. She's got the lead. Now the serve. Here's Haltom. It's a tight set. Dean crushes it, puts it down. Southside needed that one off that timeout big time, 3-1. We're going to have a substitution here. Maybe not. Okay, no. I thought Chester County was going to have a substitution. But no, now back to serve for Southside. A beautiful serve that just clears the net, lands at the feet of one of the defenders. They get a piece of it, but can't do anything with it. That was Kaylin Allen, the sophomore defensive specialist. Gets it within 3-2. Here's Allen with the serve. Big serve by the sophomore. There's a lot of pressure here. Here's McDaniel with the set to Webb. She has to roll it over. But a shank pass that time, out of position. And Chester County catches a break there and sends their lead to 4-2 here in the fifth and final set. Ashlyn Cliff, the freshman blocker, also in the game now for Southside. Here's Bailey Smith with a roll. The catch the net goes over, but a great save. Now here's a nice drive by Dean. Nice little push there. And trying to eat it up was Haley Kessler. Couldn't do anything with it. Hit into the net. It falls down. And Chester County leading 4-3. Southside going to serve, and it'll be Sydney Shelton, the junior defensive specialist, back to try to tie this final set up. Here's the serve taken by Pirtle over to McDaniel. Now to Webb in the 2. She's eaten up by Dean that time, though, but it goes back over. Now Robinson with the roller taken on the back line. Here's Halton with a set of Dean. Dean takes a little something off of it and just catches the line right. Well, now, wait a minute. He said it was down. The judge said it was. Okay, yeah, they're doing that. Okay, I thought they were trying to overturn that for a second. No, it's good. That ball goes down, and we are tied at 4. And here's the serve by Shelton. Shelton gets the serve over, taken by Pirtle to McDaniel in the middle. She wants to set Webb. Does it? The shot is high and hard, and it would have went out of bounds, but Southside just couldn't lay off of that one. It goes out of bounds. Chester County retakes the lead 5-4 with Ashton Webb, the fantastic middle blocker, back to hit and back to serve, and she's got that big jump serve that is hard to deal with. Here it comes. She smashes one. It's taken. It's going to have to be over on 2. Can't get it to go over. Rolls into the net and to the floor. The pass is a little too far. That jump serve is eating that back row up. It has been all night long, and Webb continues to deliver for Chester County. They lead 6-4. Here's Webb with the jump serve. It's a smash. It's taken by Dean. It's another high one, but a great up that time by Haltom. Dean will have to roll it over on 3. She does. Bailey Smith back to the middle to McDaniel. She wants to set up Davidson with a high roller. She gets it, but it's dug up by Southside. Now here's, they're going to call double contact. Oh, goodness. On Haley Haltom, they'll call double contact. She's not happy about it. It looks like she might have hurt her hand. She's shaking her finger a little bit off. They're shaking off her finger, maybe a little stinger there, but she'll stay in. Trailing 7-4. Here's Webb with the smash and a beautiful serve, but it's kept alive somehow by Haltom. Holy cow. Now here's a roller by Robinson. It's up. Oh, boy, they're going to call a lift that time. I don't know how she was able to get that ball up, but she did. But nonetheless, the lift on Southside. And Chester County has doubled up the Lady Hawks here in the 5th and final set, 8-4. Southside has to stop the bleeding right now. They got to get Webb out of this service rotation. Here's Webb with the jump serve. It's going to be long. It's going to be wide. Okay, all right. They'll say that ball went out just wide. It was close, but it did go out. That's the break Southside needed. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. Trailing 5-8, and Shay Dean back to serve. Here's Dean's serve over to Bailey Smith. Now to McDaniel in the middle, outside to Robinson. She rolls it and puts it down. A line shot past 2 defenders. And Chester County now 6 points away from moving on here in the district semifinals. Southside, if they've got anything left, they need it right here. Here it is. Let's see who's serving. That's Peyton Davidson. Back to serve, leading 9-5 in the 5th and final set. Here's your serve. Taken by the back row. Here's Haltom with the set. It's a shot by Kaya Sane, dug up by Bailey Smith, and a double contact that time on Peyton Davidson. Boy, Southside needed that one for sure. Now the lefty, Caitlin Scott, a sophomore. Back to serve. Here's the serve by Scott. It's deep. Taken by Bailey. Now here's McDaniel with a roller. Taken by the back line. Here's a front set by Haltom. Pushed that time by J.C. Sidwell. Back over Robinson with the roller. Dug up by the back line. Here's a tight set to Sane. Sane tries to put it down, but Bailey digs it up. Now a roller by Davidson. Back line dug once again. Here's Sane in position for the kill. Decides to go with a little dink. Puts it over on the line, but dug up by McDaniel. Now rolled over back to the back line. Set up this time. Here's Sane with the approach. Rolls it once again, but dug up. But the contact, but she's still able to pick it up anyway. Runs her and teammate. Here's Haltom with the set of Sane. Nobody's digging that one, baby. When Kaya Sane gets a set like that, you can hang it up. She's got the type of hop. There's nobody on that side going to block that shot. What a big set. What a big kill that time by Kaya Sane. 9-7, Chester County. Here comes the serve. Taken low by Ashton Webb. Now having to roll that ball just over the blocker, but up that time by Haltom. Two frontline players for Chester County run into each other. A stone at the net by Kaya Sane. The ball drifts back over, and she slams it right off of a back row defender. And Southside, who was 4 points down, is now down 9-8 here in the fifth and final set with the season on the line. We'll take this 30-second timeout and come back for the finale on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 and .5digital.com.
24 hours ago, every day. This is News Talk 101.5 and 95.3 Brownsville Radio. Davis Painting Company has a great June special for our News Talk 101.5 listeners. With 3 rooms painted and with the 4th room equal size for free. Brian Davis comes highly recommended for doing such a superior paint job at the lowest price. Davis Painting is bonded and insured and uses the best premium paint. Business and residential. Remember, call anytime in June to secure your paint job and you'll get the 4th room painted free. Call Brian Davis today at 928-3111 and let your friends know. That's Brian Davis Painting, 928-3111.
Just back off the timeout, and Kaya Sane tries to cut a little roller there. Lands in the bottom of the net. Big point there. Staving off that rally that time, and it's now 10-8. Chester County with the lead. Here's the serve taken from the back row. And at the absolute worst possible time, a shank of that serve off the back row. And it is now 11-8 with 2 straight points off of the timeout for Chester County. 4 points away from moving on. Here's the serve. Taken by the back row to Haltham. She wants to go to Sane. Sane with a rocket past the back line that just lands in front of that back line. When Southside had to have it, they went to one of their seniors, Kaya Sane, and she delivered 11-9. And now the other senior on this team, Kristen Long, back to serve, trailing by 2. In the final set. Here's the serve by Long, taken by Webb in the back line. Now here's Bailey Smith. It's going to have to be a roller by McDaniel, taken on the back line over to Haltham. She'll look for Sane. Sane just rolls it over the defense, and everybody's flat-footed. They were expecting the slam. They didn't get it. We've got a 1-point game here in the fifth and final set. Kristen Long back to serve, trailing 11-10. Can Southside keep this momentum? Here's Long serve, taken by Webb. Over onto Southside's able to get it over to Haltham. Now back to Sane once again. She drives, it's picked up, but out of bounds. Kaya Sane taking over for Southside. 3 straight points for Kaya Sane and the Lady Hawks, and we are tied at 11. Kristen Long back to serve. Here's Long with the serve. Going to have to hit from the back row. That's Davidson rolling, hit from the front line. Now it's up. Now back over by Sane, looking for a soft spot. Up by Bailey Smith. Now rolled over from the back line. Saved here on the back line once again. Here, it's a set. Here's Sane with the approach. She dinks and rolls right over the defender who can only get an outstretched arm. The ball goes out of bounds, and 4 straight points for Kaya Sane. Has Southside 3 points away from moving on, and Coach Humphrey has seen enough for Southside. She calls a timeout, and I don't blame her. Boy, man, I got my money's worth, and I didn't even pay to get in. Listen to Southside Hawk Nation, man. Let me tell you something. They have a rabid volleyball fan base. Well, they got a rabid everything, man. Southside loves this high school and its teams. No question about it, and they're here in droves tonight. And so is Chester County. It's a beehive in here. Who's going to get stung? We'll find out. Kristen Long, the senior, with a 1-point lead, 12-11 here in the deciding set. Here we go. Long with the serve. Here's a set and approach by Bailey Smith, who rolls it. She's blocked at the net. Now a push over by Chester County. Here's the set over to Sane. Sane cranks it, but it's lifted up on the back line, back over on 2. Here is Haltham with another set of Sane at the net. She has a little touch on it, and it drifts just a skosh too far. So close. It was a great idea. It was a beautiful shot. It was just a little wide. 12-12 here in the deciding set. Kelsey Pirtle back to serve for Chester County, and she serves it into the net. Service error by Chester County. And now Southside with a 13-12 lead. And Chloe Matthews, the sophomore, back to serve for the Hawks. Here's the serve, taken by Bailey Smith. Here's McDaniel. It's a 2 in the middle for Webb. She's stuffed at the net, but it's lifted by Chester County, saved on the back row by Southside. Here's an approach. It's Dean with a crank that catches the line. Oh, what a beautiful set. What a beautiful set by Haley Haltom, and Shay Dean knew just what to do with it. We have match point here for your season for Southside. Can Chloe Matthews deliver? You talk about pressure. Here's the serve. It's over. Here's McDaniel. She needs a roller from Bailey Smith. Smith gets there. Now here's the back set. Nobody home, but somehow Dean gets over to Chester County. Now here is a roller by Webb, who hits it long. This one's over. Wait a minute. Coach Humphrey saw something. The officials saw something. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know what this call was, but they just gave the point to Chester County. I don't know if they called a touch. I'm not sure what they called. I didn't see the call. Nonetheless, instead of this match being over, it's now 14-13 with Chester County serving. I mean, could two teams be more even than this? The Southside fans had already exploded, and they were out on the court, but the whistles blew immediately. And again, maybe they called contact. I didn't see it. I'm not sure if that was the case. But nonetheless, Autumn McDaniel trailing 14-13, and Southside with a chance to put it away right here. McDaniel with the serve. Wait a minute. It's a let. They weren't ready. No problem there. McDaniel will serve again. Autumn McDaniel. And again, Southside with a chance to end this match right now. McDaniel with the serve. It's scooped up from the back line. Now over on two is Dean. Here's a set by McDaniel. Here's Webb at the net with a drive that is dug up off the back row. And here's a chance for Southside. It's Dean with a roller, but it's saved. It's off the back line. Okay, here's Dean with an approach that goes through two blockers. There's no whistle to blow this time. This one's over. Southside moves on, saves their season. Shay Dean with a driving shot between two blockers, straight through the line. It was a line shot. She just hit it right through the both of them. 15-13. Southside wins this one. They drop the first set 25-19. They win the second set 25-22. Then win the third set 25-17. Then lose the fourth set. Where did that score go? I think it was 25-20. And then final 15-13 in the fifth and deciding set. It's an end to a great season for Chester County, and they're visibly upset and certainly understandable. That was an unbelievable match, no question about it. I mean, those two teams are as even as you can possibly get. Hats off to you, ladies, all of you, both teams, all four teams tonight. Well, we had a blast. Tell you what we're going to do. We'll take this 2-minute timeout. We'll come back, and we'll put a bow on it from the Hawks' Nest. I'm tired, y'all. I can't hardly talk. That right there, that's what it's all about. That's high school volleyball. That is why volleyball is one of the single greatest games on this planet. And if you haven't had a chance to get out here and watch these ladies, you're missing out. But you can go to point5digital.com. We'll have them archived for you. 2 minutes, and we're back to wrap it up on Jackson's News Talk 101.5 and point5digital.com.
Are you okay?
Yes, I called the insurance company and they said to take it to ABC Body Shop, but I thought Collision Specialist was the best, and it's a new car.
Well, they are, and that's where you need to take it.
But the insurance company said I had to take it to ABC for them to stand behind the repairs.
The insurance company doesn't own the car. We do. Don't worry. Collision Specialist guarantees their repairs for as long as we own the car. And being new, that will be a while.
Thanks, honey. That's where I'm taking it.
It's your choice. Make the right choice. Choose Collision Specialist.
Can you believe it? 0% financing is back on select models at Sarah Chevrolet. We're crushing high prices with a new Chevy Cruze. Sarah price starting at $16,999. Save over $1,500 on a new 2015 Malibu. Sarah priced at $2,750. And 0% is back on select models at 15% off. It's 12 days only. We're crushing high prices during our Blitz the Competition sales event. Only at Sarah Jackson and SarahJackson.com. Colorado, Corvette, Tahoe, and Suburban excluded.
Your farm equipment depends on sturdy, reliable tires. But what happens when you're in the field and a tire goes down? Best One Tire offers a wide variety of tires for all your farming equipment. And listen to this. Best One also offers 24-hour field service for your farm vehicle. Yep, they'll fix it in your field. Plus,
hey, make this the final spot if you don't mind. I'm going to have the coach back on.
Suspension repair. Their goal is to provide you with high-quality repairs quickly.
Hey, Tommy, come over here if you don't mind. I got your mic set up.
Brownsville. Call 660-4072 or 772-1504.
The station you rely on for dependable sports information. Who's your daddy? This is News Talk 101.5 FM.
Boy, here it is. We're wrapping it up, and I had to get Tommy Dean on here. Coach Tommy Dean of the victorious Southside Hawks. Coach, that right there, that's what high school volleyball is all about, sir.
You're exactly right, Bass.
Do me a favor. Flip this down here so the microphone will be in front of your face right there. There you go.
Okay, you're exactly right, Bass. I tell you what, I told the girls after the game they should know by now that I must have a good heart because I believe they try to kill me at times. But, I mean, just an awesome match. And, you know, you got to give Chester County credit. They came here and just battled us as hard as they could. And, you know, we were very fortunate to come out on top.
No question. And it was, you know, you dropped the first set. Now, I got to ask you this because I did not see what the call was when we thought the match was over right there at the end and the crowd came out. What was the call? Did they call a touch?
He called number 5 in the net.
Oh, okay. So they called the net. Boy.
Right.
Man.
Yeah. Kind of a late call, but, you know, it worked out.
Boy, you know, at the end of the day, all that matters is that it ended up working out. Let's talk a little bit about your team here. First of all, we'll talk about the bangers in a minute, but we'll talk about Haley Haltham. Haley Haltham, your junior setter, just knows, I mean, she does the job of a setter. She knows how to get her hitters in position, and when she finds a hot hand, she goes to it.
She does. She does an awesome job. You know, she's been setting there ever since she was a freshman, and, you know, I tell her, you know, just because you're a lot of times people think hitters have to be the leaders of the team, but, you know, a setter can, you know for yourself, Bass, a setter can lead a team just as good as anybody else.
Well, I say if you don't have a setter, you don't have a team.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. You're not really playing volleyball if you don't have a setter. Before we get to the big two, a couple other names that I thought had some nice games and did some nice things in spots. I thought JC Sidwell came off the bench and did pretty well. She placed the ball in some nice spots early.
JC did. You know, JC started up until just recently and felt like I need to make a move. And I don't know. You know yourself, Bad. Sometimes these coaches get these weird itches, and I just had an itch that JC could go in there and contribute, and she did. She played really, really good.
And sometimes, don't you, Coach, as a coach, have to go by feel?
Exactly.
More than anything else.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and a couple more, then we'll get to the couple of the big dogs. But I thought that one of your seniors, Kristen Long, played pretty well. I thought Caitlin Scott played well. And you got a freshman that I like a lot in Ashlyn Clift. I think she's going to be one of your better players in the next few years.
She sure is. And getting back to Kristen Long, I guess there's no doubt that Kristen Long has improved more than anybody on this team. She struggled last year with her passing, and to be honest with you, she almost quit one time. And but she's worked so hard, and bless her heart, she's just so consistent with her passes.
Let's talk about Kaya Sane. Kaya Sane had a role there with like 4 straight points, and tonight she really, even when Chester County would try to go over on 2, it's like she anticipated it. It's not just the vertical, it's the mental game as well. She knows it. It's even when Chester County doesn't tip off that they're going to go over on 2, she anticipates it anyway, and she minded that net beautifully for you tonight.
Right. Not only has she got great jumping ability, but she is so smart. You know, if the set is not just right, I've seen her use her left hand so many times, and now Ashlyn Clift, you know, I can't say enough about her either. She is going to be a fantastic player.
Now, you may know this young lady. I'm sure y'all have met before, but you've got a junior middle hitter on your team named Shay Dean. who is your granddaughter, and that's not news to you. You've probably known that a lot longer than I have, but you got to be real proud because there were moments late in this game where she needed to take over and did. Look, she's tall. She's got great form. There's no question about it. But she plays with a controlled intensity that you like. She doesn't let her emotions get out of check.
Right.
But she swings a heavy stick.
She does. She played club ball last year, which helped her tremendously. To be honest with you, it's very hard coaching your granddaughter. I coached my daughter a few years ago. To be honest with you, I'm always tougher on them than I am other players, and I stay on Shay pretty hard. But I just tell her, if you're going to be a big time player, you got to step up in matches like this.
So I guess it's Lexington next.
It's Lexington again. Now, I told the girls after the match that we've taken a big step tonight, but we've got one more big one to take. So
you guys have a flair for the dramatic, and we've been out here, man.
I know. I thought I was going to be here all night.
Who cares when it's like that?
That's right.
To me, that's the essence of volleyball. That's what it's supposed to be all about, and it's an emotional game. There's no question about it. And I was commenting something that I found really interesting. Maybe the different approaches is during the timeouts in that fifth and final set. Over here, it's very kind of a party-like atmosphere almost, and I don't think one's right over the other. It's just interesting. It's an interesting contrast. Everybody loose, Chester County. Then I look over here, and every player on your roster has their eyes locked onto yours, waiting on the next word out of your mouth with a very serious look on their face. You don't have to tell me what you said to your team, but what was the approach coming out of that timeout?
Well, I just told them that we didn't want our season to end tonight, and the seniors spoke up. They kind of took an active role, and they spoke up, and they didn't want their season and career to end tonight. And I just told them, I said, you just got to do the basic things that it takes, and thank God they did.
Now, if you beat Lexington, what happens then?
We'll go to the region, and we'll play the number 2 team out of the other district over there. I'm going to say it's probably going to be either Crockett County or Milan. I think Dyersburg is by far the best team over there, and unless they're upset, they're going to be number 1, and then it's going to be a struggle for number 2.
But if you get by Lexington, that's a match that could go either way. We saw that the other night. They're a very good team. If you do get by Lexington, you feel pretty good about your opportunity against one of those 2 seeds?
Well, it's the same situation we were in last year. We played the number 2 team over there and beat them, and then we had to turn around and play Dyersburg in the championship, and they beat us like everybody expected them to. So that put us playing the number 1 team out of the other region, which happened to be Covington, and so we had to go to Covington last year. And Bass, it was a match just about like tonight. We won the first 2, they won the next 2, and they jumped out to a 9-4 lead, and we came back and beat them. So there's a lot of exciting volleyball left in this season.
Now, if you lose to Lexington, what happens? Is that season?
We'll move on to the region. Top 2 teams move on, but we'll catch Dyersburg, and we don't want to catch Dyersburg.
No, you don't want to have to catch Dyersburg. Right. Somewhere down the line, you're going to have to.
If we play them, we want to be in the state tournament.
Absolutely, no question about it. Head coach Tommy Dean of the victorious Lady Hawks in 5 sets tonight. Coach, thanks for having us out, man. We love doing this.
Hey, Bass, I hope we can do this again next year, and it's been great.
Love it, Coach. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. There he goes, Coach Tommy Dean of the Southside Hawks, victorious tonight in 5 sets over Chester County. Now, let me thank 3 or 4 folks that brought you this broadcast, and we certainly appreciate that, and we ask that you reward them for that with your business. First South Bank, locally owned and operated. They offer a relationship in banking that's flexible, and they make prompt decisions, and they want you to bank with them. They want to be your bank. So please visit it at their convenient locations in Madison, Hardeman, Haywood, and Dyer counties. Here in Jackson, First South Bank, 1955 South Highland Avenue. First South Bank, West Town Commons, and 77 Stonebrook Place, and First South Bank, 1862 US 45 Bypass. They're open till 5 o'clock. We want to thank them for help bringing high school volleyball here at Jackson's News Talk 101.5 FM. By Great American Sports on 125B Old Hickory Boulevard in Jackson, 422-6203. From high school, college, youth uniforms to bats, baseballs, football, basketball, soccer, spirit wear, embroideries. They also have have trophies, and they take trades on baseball, softball bats, and they have good selection of baseball and softball bats. So you'll definitely want to check them out at 125B Old Hickory Boulevard over by Kroger Linwood. And by my man, I've known this guy for a long, long time. His name is Jim Wilson. Jim Wilson Insurance Agency, 1961 South Highland in Jackson, 424-4131, your local hometown insurance agency. They've got home, auto, life, commercial, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, campers, trailers, and more. Whatever you need insured, they got you covered. Jim Wilson Insurance Agency. By Paul Schulze and Lawson Mann with Worthy Road Studio. They did a great job tonight bringing you this broadcast on point5digital.com, and you can go check it out. It's going to be archived, and you'll be able to check this match out over and over and over again if you so choose. And by my good friend Dan DiFilippo, producing and directing and doing a great job of it. Yeoman's work as always, my friend. And most importantly to you guys for listening. Man, it was our pleasure to bring you high school volleyball. It's a beautiful sport played by passionate people, and that's what it takes to play this game, and they gave you everything you wanted and more tonight. Southside wins it in 5 sets over Chester County. So for all the people that we mentioned just a minute ago, my name is Seabass, coming to you live from the Hawk's Nest. I'll be in the studio tomorrow night for the cheap seats. In the meantime, have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on the 2-Hour Lunch.
Welcome to Jackson's only news talk.